Spell your name that way. I want to know. I want to know because everybody's going to be asking that question because I was like, damn, for the last like year I've been calling this guy in my head Chowan. And it's Sean. Like, that does not make sense in my head. But yeah, tell me.
I have no idea. They still haven't really. I haven't asked. I
What?
haven't. Yeah, I didn't ask like why they named me.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Well,
You got to have them on the
way.
podcast. You got to ask them straight up in their face.
I may have a long time ago, but I haven't asked. I really haven't.
Oh, really?
I can't remember asking.
Oh,
ever.
man, that's going to be
But,
exciting.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to ask.
it's
him
really fun
and
when I
see
do
why.
talk to text in my phone. I have to say John
Yeah.
in order for it to spell it correctly.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually tell people, I'm like, it's like French, like chateau, like Sean. That's
Oh,
how you pronounce
it's because you're so hoity-toity. My name is Sean.
it. They believe it too.
Yeah.
So,
I bet they
it
do.
works.
I bet they do. They're like, look at this tall black Frenchman. My name is Sean.
That's
Like,
good.
yeah, that's great. You should start doing that. Yeah.
Au
Yeah.
revoir.
Yeah. I don't know any other film. Oui.
That's the one you know for.
That's
in
the
our
one I
office.
know. Yeah.
Do you have a question on there you want to ask?
Yeah.
Throw them out, man. We'll go through all of them.
All right. So, what do you wish your younger self knew about self-esteem?
Ooh, let's see. So I actually didn't have a problem with self-esteem growing up because my parents really embarrassed the fuck out of me since I was a little kid. Literally. Like, my dad is one of those guys who will crap on the 50-yard line of like a Jets game with 40,000 people watching. Like, the dude does not care. You're like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, now that I have that visual in my head, thanks for that. No, he just does. He's an Italian from New Jersey. He gives zero shits at all. And my mom is a Puerto Rican from Miami. So both of them give zero fucks.
Energy is.
Yeah, the energy is
immense.
like, there's not a good, you get in a fight in my family, someone will die. For sure. But that being said, they grew up just, we all grew up making fun of each other, being hard and learning that the world is not like a beautiful, friendly place all the time.
It's not Disney.
Yeah, you're going to get knocked down, you're going to get hit, you're going to get made fun of and things like that. But that made my self-esteem, I'm 5'5". I got to fight since I came out of the womb. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I met Tim Grover once, who was Michael Jordan's coach.
Relentless.
Yeah.
The book
and,
Relentless.
Best book, one of the best books I've ever read. Probably the best book. I tell everybody, like, that's the first book to read if they want to read something.
You're a cleaner.
Yeah, I love his aspect. I love that. He always says cleaners don't say they're cleaners, so I'll never say I'm a cleaner.
I said it though, so it makes it right.
That's good. That's good. I like that. But I met him once, and he's like, "Look at this guy. He's 5 foot nothing. Like, he's had to fight his whole fucking life." And it's true. Like, I've had to fight, my whole life in sports and playing D1 soccer and things like that, and having knee surgery when I was a kid. I've had to fight my whole life. So, when it came to self-esteem, I think self-esteem comes from you having little wins and just stacking wins over and over and over and over. So, I wouldn't tell my younger self anything other than just keep stacking those wins. You're going to lose a lot, and that's great. Lose as much as you possibly can when it comes to things that you're learning, but keep stacking wins.
Because it helps like bolster your confidence and keep you standing upright instead of
100%.
tearing you down when you don't get what you want.
Exactly.
I see.
100%. And it becomes you. I mean, let's just take, for example, your diet, because we've talked about it. Amanda and I have talked about it. So tell me, like, what your diet is every single day.
I like keeping it mostly lean. Like, I like normally a high fat, high protein diet.
Right.
I just function my best on that, and I look physically my best as well on that type of diet. And I'm not like I don't eat like just like a carnivore diet,
right.
But I add like berries, almonds, like nuts and seeds.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I eat a lot of eggs. I eat a lot of red meat. Turkey,
right.
Fowl, like chicken and turkey.
Yep.
Fish, but it's not like complicated. I only have like a certain amount of foods that I like eating a lot of.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy for me. I don't have a lot of decisions to make every day about what I want to eat. Like, it's the same thing every day. I like the routine of it. I need routine in my diet. And so, yeah, it's a very simple diet. lot of protein. Greens, I do powdered greens every day instead of like eating salads. Like I like to do powdered greens and drink them. And then that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing complicated. It's very easy.
Exactly.
Very simple diet.
But then that focus every day leads to, you know, a six-pack year-round and a very strict, you know, very strict lifestyle. But you have a physique that is that of a god. So it's like, damn, I want to be like that. But that's little wins every single day. You know, choosing this over the donut or this over like the extra piece of dessert. And that doesn't mean you don't live. But that obviously those little wins stack up to having the body you want, to having like the lifestyle you want, to having your health the way you want it. So it's the same thing as I would have told my younger self is just keep stacking those wins. Yeah. Especially for those kids out there. Just stack wins every single day and make those wins harder every single day.
I think that's a great point, because no matter which area you're talking about, whether it's business or health and wellness, it's the same thing. It's daily action toward the goal and what is going to create the win for you. And I watch him push himself, even just getting faster paces on the tread, or, you know, further, more calorie burns on the bike. I mean, no matter what it is, it's just these pushes daily to continue to get better and better. And that's what you did in business too. It's like these wins. So my question for you then is, how do you celebrate when you win? Do you celebrate when you win? And if you do, how do you celebrate when you win?
I have a really hard time celebrating, quite honestly. I really do. I celebrate for a very short period of time, and usually if I do ever celebrate, it's either going out to dinner with my wife, because that's like a reward. We do have date night every Friday. It's a non-negotiable, no matter what we're doing, date night every single Friday. I don't care who takes care of the kids. We'll figure it out. We'll just walk out the door, put them in a cage, a little bit of bowl of water and some food. They'll figure it out. You know, it'll be okay. But yeah, I think when it comes to that, it's what the hell is the question?
How do you celebrate when you win?
I just totally blanked out. Just like, what?
Thinking about your kids in a cage.
I was thinking about my kids in a cage. I'm like, that's funny.
Kidding.
I'm definitely going to use that later for content. But it's really celebrating the wins is I pat myself on the back. If it's a team thing, I usually try and push everything onto the team, because what got us there is usually the team, not me in any way. You know, I may be the figurehead, quote unquote, or the CEO, but it really isn't me getting to where I am. And I hate the word self-made millionaire, because everybody, they use it all the time. They use it all the time, and people say self-made and self-made this and self-made that. And I get it. A lot of times you had to pick yourself up. You may have had a bad childhood or bad history or whatever, and you had to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get to the point where you are. But nobody, I don't care who the fuck you are, nobody is a self-made millionaire. I don't give a shit.
You had to have a team.
You had to have somebody. Somebody was there during the entire time, whether that was a spouse or a parent, and that person may not still be there, but nobody is self-made. I think self-made millionaire is a bullshit phrase. Absolutely. So
what do you think a common misperception is about your industry? What do you think the most common misperception is about the industry?
I think the biggest thing in what we do is that it's all a bunch of woo-woo medicine, where nothing that I learned or nothing that we do in Genesis or any of the other companies that I own is actually taught in medical school. Almost at all. Nothing about hormones, nothing about peptides, weight loss, hair transplantation, making the face more beautiful. None of that is actually taught in medical school. Those are all things that I had to go back and do more schooling or fellowship, or things that are considered Eastern medicine, way outside the realm of Western medicine, which is, if you're sick, here, take this pill. Not, let's make yourself better from the inside out. Let's do preventative medicine. All that stuff is newer and new age, and most people haven't really caught on to that. So they think that a lot of what we do and a lot of what I do is not studied medicine. In fact, there are a lot of studies on what we do out there. It's just never taught. And it's never publicized, and it's never talked about. I mean, you could even take the whole issues with COVID, where at the beginning they're like, don't go outside, don't get sunlight, put a mask on yourself indoors. And then later on they were like, well, a study just came out that showed that people that got sunlight and were outside, it benefited them greatly. Of course it did. We're humans. It's our immune system. We're still animals. We're still mammals. You lock a mammal, a lion in a cage, you lock any type of wild animal in a cage long enough, it's going to lose all of its animal instincts, its ability to hunt, the ability to feed itself, etc. Humans are still mammals. We may be higher thinking mammals, but it's the same thing. Yeah. Sunlight, going out there, living, hunting, which means nowadays going to the grocery store and getting our food. Yeah. I mean, we still have to interact with other humans as well. You can't lock us in a cage and expect you to be healthy. So I think that's the biggest misconception in what we do is that, well, you're just focusing on the outside of people. And that's definitely not the case. A lot of times when people feel more beautiful, you've seen it, they radiate that from the inside. That comes with self-confidence. It comes with reduced doubt. It comes with those little wins and stacking those wins and feeling better about themselves. And then they perform better. Yeah. You know, there's that old phrase, look good, feel good, play good. And that's the absolute truth. Absolute truth. You feel like shit. If you get dressed up, like you want to go out on the town, you're going to feel better about yourself. It's just how it is.
Vibrationally, the cells begin to vibrate at a different level.
Absolutely.
And I agree. When I got into makeup 18 years ago, I got into it initially as a way to cover up a lot of what I was feeling. I had just lost my dad. I was 16 when my dad passed, and I was sitting next to him when he died. So it was a very, very difficult time in my life. And the way that I made myself feel better was to look pretty. And then people would compliment. I mean, ever since I was young, people would say things like about my looks. And so, and nice little compliments like aunts or whatever. You're so pretty or whatever they are. But I just kind of turned to like this external cover to be able to put this face on that like I was okay and had my stuff together, and at least I got that affirmation from the outside world. And so I remember when I first started doing makeup, I wore a lot of makeup, and I remember this one client being like, I'm never gonna have you do my makeup. And I was like, I don't understand why. Blue eyeshadow up my forehead, I can't imagine why you wouldn't want me to do your makeup. And so, but it made me start to think about like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I got into personal development several years later, and that's when I really started to dig into what I was doing. And I still love beauty. I just do it in a different way now. And so it's enhancing natural beauty, encouraging women to heal from the inside out. So using beauty as a tool to look and feel your best so that you can vibrate at that highest level, what you're just talking about on the health side too, and the wellness aspect. But so you can show up your best in all areas. And that took healing from the inside. And so the more, I still do makeup, I get filler, I have extensions, I get my nails done, I have fake contacts. I mean, my teeth are fake. I mean, there's there's a lot of things going on. But it's whatever feels good for me. And I know now why I'm doing it. And it's not to cover up some area inside. To be integrated wholly inside just allows me to express myself a little bit different on the outside physically, where I like what I look like. And we talked about this because I wear makeup to the gym, and this is a common conversation in the fitness world. Why do women do it? And it's like, because I have to look at myself when I'm lifting, and if I look like I just crawled out of bed, I'm only going to put in so much effort. I know that. And so for other women, that might not be the case. But for me, if I want my best workout, I have to go down there feeling sexy already. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to push myself a little bit harder. And when I don't show up my best, even at the gym, I don't give my best. And so, I think it's the core in which it's done. And when somebody truly wants to be healthy, mind, body, and spirit, that radiates on the outside. And then the external is an expression of what somebody feels on the outside. And you can feel the difference when you see somebody, whether or not they're trying to cover something up or if they truly just feel authentic and genuine with the way that they're expressing themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can feel people's auras.
That was the soapbox.
Yeah.
I'm done now.
I love it. No, it was good. I love it. I love it. Now that we've established that, you know, Amanda and I are 90% fake from the head up, from the outside. How about you, Sean? Do you have any fake?
Yeah,
you fake? You got pecs
You
implants?
think this is real? Like,
Yeah.
not even close.
So
Like, I
that's
get
all.
breast implants
Is that a
too. Like,
bodysuit you're wearing right now?
Yeah, I see the work he puts in.
No, I
That's
put in
real.
work. Like, I do it daily. It's part of my routine. I have to train.
Okay.
I have to eat a certain way. I have to listen to certain podcasts and go to church to get information that way. I have to do these things. It's non-negotiable with all of these things.
Okay.
Someone invites us over for food. I'm like, you think I'm going to eat? No, like I have certain stipulations of what I want to eat, like what I need to eat. I can't just fill my body with certain things because my body's going to react. Like it's so sensitive to things now. If I put something in that's like high in sugar or high in some other type of chemical that's not really good for me, my skin's going to react. I'm going to feel tired. I'm going to feel some type of way. And so I keep it really strict. I have to. And so, that's how I go about it every day. It keeps me confident too. Like I can walk in a room, I can walk to a pool any time of the year, take my shirt off. And I'm like, what's up? Like there's none of this second guessing like, oh, I don't want to take off my shirt or, you know, but it took me a long time to get to that point.
Right.
I grew up with insecurities like most kids, you know, and those things were very troubling to me through most of my life, you know, and I would say through entertainment, not that compliments are the thing that, you know, were the thing that stuck with me that made me more confident, but it did help a little bit early on. Like whenever I did diet down for a photo shoot and someone would compliment on my physique or something, I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know? And so it kind of took to that and then developed into this whole other thing, like, all right, I'm not doing this for just the looks or the compliments or anything. It's for my own personal self-esteem, what I think about myself. Because I hear a lot of people say they look in the mirror and they don't like the person they see, but they won't do anything about it. And I know it's very difficult to get to that point where you take the initiative to eat the right thing and to train every day. It's hard. It's not easy early on, but as you go, it gets easier. It becomes like a lifestyle and you just don't think about it anymore. It's just like what you do, you know, it's just what I do. And that's a different way to go about it now. It helps with my mindset. Like it's a stress relief. Like talk about a beast. Like if I don't train, like I'm going to rage and like I'm protecting everybody else from what I could be if I don't relieve the stress that I have through training or through doing the things that I need to do to maintain a level of sanity that I need for my day, you know? And so, like the confidence came, it started one way and then developed into something different. Like the reasons for it now is entirely different, but
So it started kind of as like a have to, but now it's like a get to.
Yeah.
Because I know you keep saying have to, but you love to do it now, right?
Yeah, I love to do it. Yeah, I did say have to, but it's this love-hate relationship. I'm probably one of the few that takes like 45 minutes to an hour to get to my workout every day.
Okay.
I know I'm going to do it. But I wrestle with myself for like an hour before I go for my run.
Okay.
If I'm running 9 miles, I know how painful it's going to be in my run.
Right.
And so I have to prep for this run. I have to listen to music. I have to listen to some podcasts or something. I have to put on David Goggins. Like I have to put on something.
He's got to yell the whole time.
Yeah. And then I get on the treadmill and I'm cruising.
You got 45 minutes of your inner bitch voice talking to you.
Oh my God. And so, it's like a love-hate relationship. But I love it though. Like I know what I'm gonna curse the whole freaking time. I'm gonna be sitting here like, you should hear what I say to myself. People are like, Sean's a nice guy. I'm like,
not to myself.
Not to myself. Exactly. And so, it's a love-hate relationship, but
which was very entertaining when we met because I'm like a go. So I get up, I have my pre-workout I have coffee and then pre-workout, so I'm really on fire.
It's good for your heart.
Yeah, it's great. And then my Red Bull. No, I'm just kidding. But we're like, oh, let's work out together. And I'm like, let's go. And then we like pull into the gym and he's like mixing up his greens and he's doing these things. And I'm like, I got my hand on the door and I'm like watching and he's like, I just need a minute.
Reclining.
Like
straight up cooking. Yeah.
like 20 minutes in, I'm like, are we going in or what's happening? And he's like, I just need a few more minutes. And I'm just like, my pre-workout is wearing off. Like,
It's starting to fall asleep.
So we had to figure that out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best part about, I think both of us came in certainly with certain baggage, as most do in relationships, but the baggage we had to unpack was fairly easy because we have had clean lives. And up till meeting, it was like, the way we were carrying ourselves was done with integrity and character. And so that was a great part about, I think, meeting a little later in life and having past experiences and relationships. It's like, I can't imagine what people do when they're not living clean and then you meet later in life. And then it's like, whoa, I can't imagine how difficult that would be on a relationship, to try to figure out. So what do you think that a modern misconception about love is?
I think the same modern misconception about love is the same misconception that I think people have when they have kids. So when my triplets were born, for example, I had a really hard time really connecting with them. It was really difficult, and I even talked to Steph about it. I think it was because I was such in a doctor mode, and they were preemies, and I was making sure they're okay and everything like that, that I really did not connect with them at all. It was really difficult for me. And talking with her about it, I was just like, I don't feel connected with them. I don't feel like they're my kids. And I don't want to say it wasn't because I didn't love them, but it was because I had seen everybody else change their entire lives and talk to us about changing our entire lives. And, when you have kids, it's all about them, or everything is going to change, or you can't do what you used to do, or, good luck sleeping, or things like that. You hear all these things out there, and it's just white noise. It's a lot of bullshit, really. And so it was like, I refused to change my lifestyle and our lifestyle because we had kids. Now, that doesn't mean we don't love them. It doesn't mean you should see the amount of fucking toys we have in our house for these kids. They have everything. And we spend a lot of time with them, but we have nannies that'll help us and everything like that. And that being said, I mean, I love them to death. I'll bury a body for any of them, just like I'll bury a body for Steph. Doesn't matter. But that being said, on the other side of that, it's like I live to show them what is possible. I don't live just for them. And a lot of people live just for their kids or live just for their spouse, and they don't work on themselves. They don't take care of themselves. They don't get to the next level themselves. And so what happens is that they're focused so much on the other person in the relationship, or they're focused so much on their kids that they let themselves go, or they don't take care of themselves, and they end up hating themselves, and then they end up hating their relationship, or hating their kids and resenting their kids and resenting their relationship. And it goes down that rabbit hole, and everybody says, well, that's what love is. Putting your spouse first or putting your kids first and everything like that. And it's not. It's putting yourself first so that you can take care of your kids. You can take care of your spouse. And that's the biggest thing. When I get sick in the house, I am a big fucking baby. Absolutely. But I can't go to work. I can't make money. My staff is counting on me to be there, not only in the one clinic, but the 40 plus clinics that I run now. They are counting on me to show up every day. I can't have sick days. So it's the same thing in our relationship with Steph and I. I have to try and make sure I show up every day. And it's still difficult. I still F up every day. I mess up still. And for my kids too. But I want to show them what's possible. I want to show my wife the life that she deserves and everything like that. And it's about me loving myself enough to push and grow and be well beyond what I thought I could be, because they have that belief in me. You know, your kids look up to you. Your son probably looks up to you like you're a fucking goddess, because you are. And that's the blessing about being a mom or about being a dad. It's just they look up to you and they will watch every single move that you make, and you have to show them what's possible. Or else they're going to be little shitheads. Yeah. And mine will be little shitheads because they took after me. Anyway, so I got to give them some sort of a chance in life of being a good person, because they're going to be little shitheads just by default, by bloodline.
That little Bella and her tongue.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
we say linguita, and it's a bad thing, too. We're like, we should probably not be teaching her this.
What does that mean?
Linguita means little tongue.
Oh.
Yeah, little tongue. So we say linguita, and she goes, ah. And I'm like everybody in the family jokes, we're like, we should not be teaching the little girl this.
She looks just adorable. Like you.
Yeah.
Just like you.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like people say they all look like me.
Especially when you did the tongue thing. That was her.
100%. Yeah, I'm like, we should not be teaching her this.
But you did hit on a good point, like not compromising yourself and your well-being and your mental for the sake of solely taking care of your wife or your husband or your kids. You know, I think that's a great point you made. And so many people do that. And so showing your kids and your family, like, what's possible, I think that's absolutely amazing. It's something that I think a lot of other people in the same position or in similar positions should take and, run with it.
And it's great. I mean, it's what makes awesome relationships as well. I mean, you guys can see that you're both madly in love. You light up when you talk about each other. And that's a big part, is that everybody compromises a little bit of who they are. They just do in relationships. It's just how it is. But if you have some of those non-negotiables for yourself, for example, she knows that she ain't going to take you to a cheesecake factory and convince you to have a bunch of dessert or cheesecake.
It's a fact.
She isn't. She just isn't. So, that might have caused strife at the beginning of the relationship, like it did with my wife and I. Gained 40 pounds when my wife and I first met. Man, I used to have 6-pack year round, and then I gained a bunch of weight. I lost it all again. But that being said, is you have those non-negotiables for yourselves, and it just makes a beautiful relationship that way, because you're each your own individuals. You can each stand on your own if you had to, but you don't want to. That means you can lift up a whole hell of a lot more people.
Yeah.
Because you don't have her on your back while you're trying to lift people up, or him on your back carrying one or the other while trying to lift people up.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I could not do it if we were taking care of each other and taking care of the kids. We both can stand on our own. I know she can handle those kids 100,000 times better than I can, which is a harder job than me just going to work and running a business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that I need to be strong enough to influence people in a positive direction, because there's so much negativity going on in the world.
Right.
And when it comes to health, if I'm passionate about it, why not? Like if it's something that I do every day, why not? If somebody asks me about my lifestyle, I'm going to tell them what I do, and then they're going to see it. They're going to ask me, hey, do you want some of this, like, what I call bullshit food? They're like, no, I don't want any. Oh, come on, just have a little bit. It tastes so good. No.
Just one bite.
And I just keep going. No. And then they finally get it, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to convince this guy to have this. Like, whoa, he's different, And everyone that I know, they see that in me. They know that. And they know they're not going to be able to. But at least they see that. At least I have the potential to influence them in that way, like in a positive direction. Right. And so I think with you, like showing people what's possible, it's not only your family that's seeing it. I see that now too, and I'm inspired, and I'm sure she's inspired. And it's just like something that's, I love that. Like, it's amazing. And yeah.
Right. Never dim your light for others.
Never.